What is going on, guys, and welcome to the last video for Cutting for Chella, because my diet ends today. Today is Saturday, April 11th, and pretty much why this is ending today is because this is around the time I would have been at Coachella anyways, and my diet would have stopped regardless. Doesn't mean that I'm just gonna go and get all the junk food in the world or anything like that. It just means that I'm not gonna be as strict with my diet and just trying to get super shredded to any extent anymore. It's kind of just maintaining and being happy and satisfied with myself, but while trying to maintain this lean physique, because I still definitely want it for the summer. And that being said, guys, I'll touch a little more on that later on in the video when I do my workout video voiceover and explain little things about my diet. But as you guys see from the title, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to start your own diet. I know there's a lot of people out there who want to start their own diet but just can't really get into it because, one, they either set themselves a diet that's too strict for them and it's so hard to follow, or two, they just really don't have that motivation and they don't really have the knowledge. I'm just going to be sharing with you guys what I think is the easiest way to actually start a diet and to stick to that diet. I do want to start by saying that I am not a nutritionist whatsoever or a certified anything. I'm just trying to say that this is how I did my diet and this is how I've helped others accomplish their goals. And yeah, guys, so that being said, let's get on to step number 1 of how to start your own diet. So step 1 of starting your own diet, you're going to want to know what your TDEE is. TDEE stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure, which pretty much is just how many calories you're burning throughout the day, also while you're sleeping, so a total amount of calories you're burning within 24 hours. There is a lot of fancy TDEE tools that you can find online and get a really good estimate for. I'm just going to be showing you guys the simplest method on finding what your TDEE is, or just being really close to that estimate, because obviously online is going to give you an estimate, but it's going to use a little different types of algorithms that are really in detail, and this one is just super quick, super easy. Regardless of the fact, you're going to want to try something and then adjust accordingly. So just depending on whatever you guys want to do, guys, search it up or just use the one that I'm about to tell you guys. So the one that I'm about to tell you guys, it's your body weight times either 14, 15, or 16. So let me go ahead and break down what 14, 15, and 16 are. If you're doing 14, then that means that you're not a really active adult. You just go to the gym every now and then, you maybe take walks every now and then. You're doing the least to burn any calories whatsoever. And then we have 15, which means on average you work out about 3 to 5 times a week and you're pretty active, you go on walks and you actually try to stay somewhat active, and either if it's in work area, like you work in construction or whatever, but you are somewhat active. And then we have 16, which means you are really active and you're really on top of things. You probably work out 6 to 7 times a week, and you work like a really laborious job like construction or something like that, or you're just walking around and you walk a lot during work or anything like that. Pretty much that you're burning a lot of calories throughout the day. Like you have that feeling that you do so. Or if you're just like an athlete, you're really burning a lot of calories throughout the day. So whatever you guys feel like you guys fall under, go ahead and go with that. Like I said, you guys are going to go with something and then adjust yourselves accordingly depending on how your first week of dieting goes. So for me, let me go ahead and explain what I did. At the time of the start of my diet, I was at 179 pounds and I felt like I was really active. I would play soccer on weekends, I'd play basketball during the weekdays, and I was going to the gym 6 to 7 times a week, like I said. So my TDEE landed from 179 times 16 being really active, and it ended up being 2,864 calories. That's how much my estimated calories burned throughout the day was going to be. So now that I found that, now we move to step 2. Step 2 is finding out how aggressive you want your cut or how aggressive you want your bulk to be. You should pick a deficit that you're definitely going to feel comfortable with, because you don't want to go too aggressive right off the bat and fall off your diet because it's just too complicated to stick to. And also, like I said, we're going to be adjusting accordingly. So picking something on the smaller range side is going to be really beneficial, just so we won't be going too aggressive right off the bat. The only people that I do recommend go for an aggressive deficit are going to be people who are really heavy, and you guys know who you guys kind of are. You guys just feel like you guys have a lot of body fat and you guys just want to shred fat as soon as possible and just work on yourselves ASAP. And then there's going to be the people who, you know, like feel like, oh, like I have body fat and I'm just trying to look nice, you know, like fix myself up a little bit. Those are the people who I'm recommending not to go too aggressive unless you want to. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. So let me go ahead and explain how much a deficit should be. A deficit should range from anywhere from 300 to 600 calories. So you're going to take your TDEE, which is also your maintenance calories, how much calories you need to maintain the body that you're at, and you're going to be in a deficit of 300 to 600. 300 being the least aggressive, 600 being really aggressive. So if you're going 300, that means that you're not really that aggressive, and it's a perfect start point for the people I mentioned. Or you can go 400, which is moderately aggressive, and that's for people who are a little impatient and just want to start shredding fat a little quicker than others. Then we have a 500 deficit, which is aggressive, and it's recommended for those of you, like I mentioned, that have a lot of stubborn belly fat or just feel like you guys are on the bigger side. We also have a 600 caloric deficit, which is also, like I said, aggressive, and it's just for those people who are really impatient and want to lose fat just right off the bat and just go into a huge caloric deficit. And it is recommended for those people who, like I mentioned, have a lot of body fat on them. So let me tell you guys how I started my cut. I'm at 2,864 TDEE, which is also my maintenance calories, and I started at a perfect starting point, which I felt was 300, which is not aggressive. So I took my 2,864 maintenance calories and subtracted 300, and that left me with 2,564 calories that I should be consuming at my start point. And like I said, we were going to adjust this accordingly depending on how the first or second week goes that we actually do this diet. For people who are bulking, just think about this the other way around. 300 being a very short surplus and 600 being a really high surplus. So for the people who are bulking, you kind of just definitely want to start off on a very small caloric surplus, because this is going to keep you guys from gaining too much body fat and actually getting some lean muscle mass. So you don't want to jump straight into just like, I'm going to eat 5,000 calories, because you probably will then gain like a little bit of body fat, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Unless that's what you're trying to achieve, then by all means go for it. So with that all being said, guys, let's move on to step 3. So step 3, which a lot of people have trouble with, is finding out their macros. But here's where it gets fun, guys. This is how you guys are going to be able to commit to this diet, and how it's so different from other diets that tell you you need to do this, 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 and this, and you need to hit this to a T. My diet is a little more flexible, and it's a lot more enjoyable in my opinion. So let's figure out how to do macros. Now that you have a target calorie, which for mine was 2,564 to start, let's figure out those macros. So for me, I usually eat about 1 gram of protein per body weight, right? So I was at 179 pounds at the beginning of the diet, so I'm going to be eating around 179 grams of protein daily. And that's going to help me retain muscle. When picking out carbs and fats, I'm not too picky. I like for anybody who is doing the diet to go ahead and feel like they're free to choose what they want to be doing there, because we also have keto, where you are just eating nothing but fat and very low carb. Then we have a fat restricted diet, where you're eating very low fats and you're trying to keep carbs a little higher to use them as energy. This diet is just a flexible dieting lifestyle type of diet. You can go ahead and choose where you want your carbs and fats to kind of fall throughout the day. So for me, I'm going to be trying to hit a protein minimum, which that means I'm going to be hitting the 179 grams of protein minimum to help me retain as much muscle as I possibly can. And then I'm going to let carbs and fats land wherever as I get to 2,564 calories. I like to have my carbs around 40% of my calories, and I like to keep fats around 50 to 60 grams, simply because I'm not huge on like fatty foods. I'm not like, I love salmon, peanut butter, etc. Though there's a lot of people who do like doing that. And I'm not gonna say I don't at all, because there are days that I like to do that, and this is what this diet lets you guys have, that flexibility of just trying to hit the calorie goal while hitting a protein minimum. And this is going to help you guys, because now you guys can go out and eat with friends, family, and not worry too much of, oh, I need to make sure I don't go over this amount of carbs. Like if you go over a certain amount of carbs but you're still within your calorie range, then that's perfectly fine. This is going to help you guys stick to that diet, because you guys aren't as restricted as other diets. And trust me guys, you guys will be losing weight as long as you are burning more calories than you are consuming. Just being in a caloric deficit will cause you to lose weight. To me, a good diet is a diet that you're going to be able to stick to and not quit, right? Let me go ahead and give you guys a quick recap of what we went over, because now you guys all have the ability to start your own diet with the 3 simple steps that I've been giving you guys, plus the advice. So step number 1, finding your TDEE, and also known as your maintenance calories, the calories you're burning throughout the day. Once you have found out your TDEE, then you will want to find out how aggressive you want to have a caloric deficit, or how aggressive you want your caloric surplus to be. And then after that, you're going to find out what your macros are going to be. This is why this is a flexible diet, because you're in charge of this. I'd highly recommend that you give yourself a protein minimum though, at least anywhere from 0.75 to 1.1 grams of protein per body weight. So for me, 179, 1 gram per body weight is going to be 179 grams of protein for the day. And then carbs and fats, let them fall as they please, unless you want to give yourself a certain range. Like I give myself 40% carbs and the rest fat. So, and then that's all you guys need. And now you guys just need to track your calories. And easiest way to do so is by using these great tools like MyFitnessPal. It's one of my favorite to use and super easy to do. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys can incorporate a flexible dieting lifestyle in your life, because you will be a lot happier, because you are in control of your body, and you will know why your body is the way it is today by just tracking your calories. Get in control of your body and go ahead, start counting calories as soon as possible, just so you can start getting comfortable with it and be able to start a diet that you will enjoy. So guys, we're going to move on to the second part of this video, which is just going to be my physique and how my physique ended up being after the 82 days of my cut for Coachella. And we're going to start that video. It's just going to be a quick voiceover and it's me explaining of my experience throughout the diet and why I stopped and what's kind of next for still learning. What's going on, guys? I'm just going to be doing a quick voiceover over my workout and my physique update. I just want to start off by mentioning that when I was talking about adjusting your diet accordingly earlier in the video, I was talking about increasing or decreasing your calories to help you accomplish your dietary goals. You do this by tracking your weight and making sure that the scale is moving in the direction you want it to. If it isn't, then you adjust. If the scale is moving slowly and you'd like it to move a little quicker, then you just jump into a heavier deficit or surplus depending on what your goal is. The beauty behind counting your calories is you are completely in control of what you do. I personally wouldn't adjust right off the bat if the scale isn't moving. I'd give it a week or two to make sure that your body just isn't holding in too much water. That being said, guys, let's jump into what's next. I've learned so much throughout this diet. Before I got started with dieting, I would eat terribly. I'm talking about like hot Cheetos and cookies all day, every day. Maybe with one real meal throughout the day of like chicken and rice. This is why I was so out of tune with my body, and I knew I had to make a change. Throughout this channel, I'll be sharing my experiences with dieting and also some tricks and tips. For the most part, Vinny and I will just be vlogging our lives. Now that I'll be having cheat days maybe once a week, I'll be sharing some of the awesome foods I'll be eating. Like I said, before this diet, I wouldn't explore much foods, and I'm so ready to try all the great foods restaurants work so hard to offer. I can't wait to share them with you guys, and maybe this will help you guys discover new places as well as you guys help me by recommending must-try restaurants. I've come a long way in my dieting life, I guess you can call it, and I'm super proud of myself. This will forever be a lifestyle because fitness and nutrition is something I truly enjoy. This won't be my last strict cut, but for now it is time to jump into a flexible dieting lifestyle and enjoy all the great foods that life has to offer, all while trying to maintain a decent looking physique. With that being said, I hope you guys can really benefit off this video and this channel. I hope you guys can join us throughout this journey And also leave a like, subscribe, share this video with someone who you really think would benefit off this video, or someone who wants to start a diet but just doesn't really know how. Alright guys, and here's my physique update. I already know that I'm not the strongest guy out there or the most ripped guy out there, but you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because this is definitely the best version of myself I've ever been, and I'm super proud of that. My only real goal is to just be a better version of myself every single year, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on the things that I feel like I need to work on and not what other people try to tell me that I need to work on, because at the end of the day, it's just trying to make yourself happy. As you guys can tell by the thumbnail, I've come a really long way, and there's still a long road ahead of us, and I can't wait to share that with you guys throughout this channel. But yeah guys, super satisfied, and that's all. Until next time, we still loading.